Welcome to our lecture online. Here we're going to take a closer look at the one-dimensional wave equation. So let's say we have a function that looks like this, a times the cosine of kx minus omega t. Now a would be the amplitude of the wave, k is what we call the wave number, which is 2 pi divided by lambda, lambda being the wavelength, and minus omega t, omega is the angular frequency, where f is the frequency of the oscillation, so omega equals 2 pi times f. Let's say we have a phase angle. That means that the function can start at any point, and therefore if we add a phase angle, the function would change to this. Now let's take a look at the relationship between k and omega. It turns out if we take omega and divide it by k, we get 2 pi f, 2 pi times the frequency, divided by 2 pi divided by the wavelength, which means that the 2 pi's cancel out, and we end up with omega over k being equal to lambda times the frequency, which is equal to the speed of the wave, in this case, the speed of light. And so therefore, we can write omega as being c times k, and we can go back in our equation, take omega, and change the c times k, so the equation can be written u as a function of x and t is equal to a times a cosine of kx minus kct plus a phase angle. And that is essentially the equation for a wave traveling at the velocity equal to the speed of light in the positive x direction. If we now also take the solution, or take the portion of the equation that allows a wave to travel in the opposite direction, to the negative x direction, we need to add this portion right here. So now when we add the two together, we have an equation that represents wave of equal amplitude, equal speed, equal wavelength, and equal frequency traveling in opposite directions, which causes us to have a standing wave pattern. If we then use the trigonometric identity that the cosine of A plus the cosine of B is equal to twice the cosine of half the sum of the angles plus times the cosine of 1/2 times the difference of the angles, and we apply that to this equation right here, we end up with a new equation for the standing wave of twice the amplitude times the cosine of kx plus the phase angle times the cosine of kct. Notice we now separated the dependency on position and the dependency on time. And notice that the cosine of kx plus phi is simply an amplitude that depends upon position, which doesn't change over time. We multiply that times 2a, and we end up with a pattern like here, which is presented by this envelope of the dashed line. This is basically this portion of the function. This portion of the function changes with time, and we can then say that the amplitudes will go down and up and down and up over time like that. Notice we'll always have points where this portion right here, kx plus phi, for certain values for x, will be equal to 0. Those will represent the nodes of the standing wave. And then, of course, when we have the maximum amplitude, where this is equal to 1, we'll have the maximum amplitude of 2a over here, minus 2a on the bottom side. So here you can see that that equation represents a standing wave pattern by allowing the same wave to travel in opposite directions, same speed, same wavelength, same amplitude, and we end up with a standing wave pattern. So now we have at least a visualization of what that wave equation looks like. Now we're going to apply that to using second order partial differential equations and see what we end up with. That's how it's done.